Hi, I'm Lisa Fletcher, and you're in the stream. Today, after deadly bombings in Karachi and neighboring Balochistan, Pakistan's Shia minority say if the government won't protect them, it may be time to protect themselves. As always, our digital producer, Malika Bilal, is here looking out for all your live interaction. Malika, 3 attacks against Pakistan's Shia community since the start of this year. So many members of our community asking us to revisit this situation, and today, TweetDeck just exploding over the topic.
Exactly, Lisa. So we last did a story on Balochistan and the plight of Hazaras in May. And since then, we've gotten near daily calls on Facebook and Twitter and other social media platforms asking us for a follow-up. Like this one from Jamal Nasser, who says, there's a human catastrophe happening in Balochistan. The international media should end #media blackout in Balochistan. Now, for those of you at home, we want you to add your voice to the conversation as well. So use the hashtag #AJStream.
And to Malika's right is Mohammed Taki. He is the lead columnist for the Daily Times, Pakistan, who has been writing about sectarian violence in the country. Mohammed, welcome to the stream.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Malika. Glad to be on the show.
We're glad to have you. We'd also like, as we mentioned earlier, Al Jazeera spoke to Pakistan's Interior Minister about the recent attacks in Balochistan. Here are his thoughts on why these attacks are taking place.
This is obviously a conspiracy. And when I say a conspiracy, you have to go 10 years back, what is happening in this country, particularly Balochistan, how BLA has been killing people, how they have been claiming, and we had seen certain annexes between Lashkar-e-Jhangvi and BLA. And now they know that certain faction of societies to be touched, and they are using sectarian strife. So if they kill Shias, they will react, and obviously it will create situation, a chaos in the country, especially this new wave, which according to our assessment is to stop the elections.
He says that they're using this to destabilize and to stop the elections. Yes. Is it just political, or is there more to it?
Actually, I'm afraid that the Interior Minister of Pakistan just told a blatant lie. He pinned it on the Baloch nationalists and a nexus between the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi and the Baloch nationalists. This is absolutely not true. I wish we had a Baloch nationalist leader here who would actually defend the Baloch nationalists. The organizations, the Baloch and Brahui organizations that the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi has a nexus with, those are actually the front organizations for Pakistani army. Baloch Musallat Difai Tanzim and several other outfits are there. Basically, these guys have been in bed together since the heyday of the Taliban. I would name some names: Riaz Basra and Akram Lahori, who were the founders of the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi. They fought against the Hazara Shia in Afghanistan back in 1998, and alongside them 3 Baloch people, Dawood Badini, Shafiq Rind, and Usman Saifullah Kurd fought.
Okay, I'm going to pause you there. I want you to listen to one more thing from the Interior Minister. We asked him what was being done to stop more attacks from happening. Sure. Piggybacks off what we're just talking about.
Well, the patrolling is being enhanced, the law is being also enhanced, and then of course governor rule has been imposed after sacking the provincial government, only with the view to enhance the capability of the government, and obviously to the trust of the people. People in Balochistan, particularly Quetta, demanded the governor rule, and we did that. And now this is being jointly handled by the police and the Frontier Corps. And obviously with their combined actions, the ransom cases have almost gone to 0. Target killing in Quetta has gone more than 70% has been controlled.
Okay, so Mohammed, the Interior Minister is saying they've reduced the violence, in some cases up to 70% or more.
Well, obviously, the numbers speak for themselves. There is no reduction in violence. There was a huge bombing in the Hazara town, as we know, last month, and then now in Karachi. And what he's been pointing out is very inaccurate. The first order of the day, when the governor's rule was imposed, they went out and they hunted down the Baloch Liberation Army leaders and men, and they shot them. So far, very little has been done against the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi. And here's a method to this madness. What the Pakistani state agencies have been trying to do is they are trying to stem the rising tide of the Baloch nationalism, which is actually, they are fighting for self-determination and liberation. And to counter them, they have introduced this religious virus among the Balochi, especially the Brahui sections. It had been there, like I gave you the names, that they have have been working together since 1995. So it is not that the Baloch nationalists are going out and making a nexus with the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi. It is the Pakistani state which has been actually encouraging and providing all sorts of logistic supports to these terrorist groups. And one arm of Lashkar, a breakaway faction of Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, as they call it, Jaish-e-Mohammed.
So we're going to get to
their homes. I want to go now to our hangout where Sajjad Changazi is speaking to us. Sajjad is a human rights activist and Hazara, and you've personally been affected by the violence. You've lost family members, correct?
Yes, thank you. I would like to clarify one thing, that Mr. Malik's claim about a united front shared by Balochistan Liberation Army, BLA, which is a nationalist group, and Lashkar-e-Jhangvi is nothing but blatant lie. Being someone who lives in Quetta, someone who lives in Balochistan, I can see a clear difference in how security establishment is tackling the Baloch nationalist movement and then how it tackles the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi and Taliban. While thousands of Baloch activists are abducted, tortured, killed and dumped, not a single Lashkar-e-Jhangvi killer has received justice. In fact, Usman Saifullah Kurd was helped to flee from the high security jail in Quetta cantonment. While Baloch activists can never appear on camera, Lashkar-e-Jhangvi and Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat workers appeared with armed men in the press clubs. They publish daily press releases, detailed press releases, taking responsibility for the attacks and